Hi, my name is Tom Heffel, and this channel is all about helping students learn chemistry. In this video, we're going to be talking about what a mole is and how we use that for molar mass. If I had to really generalize of what a mole is, it's just like this word dozen. Okay. Now we know that a dozen is equal to 12 units. So if we have a dozen eggs, that's 12 eggs. If we have a dozen donuts, that'd be like 12 donuts. Well, the word mole is just like the word dozen, except it's a different number. And it's a huge number because atoms are so small. And that number comes out to 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd units. Okay. Now, the way we calculate what we call molar mass is just by using the periodic table. So if I had to figure out the molar mass of aluminum, all I would do is come and I'd look at the atomic mass for aluminum, and I would say that for aluminum, there is 27 grams for every mole. And just to give you an idea of what that would look like, because that's what this video is really about, is about helping students understand chemistry, okay? It looks like a mole is just like a small handful, okay, of, a chemical. Now, I didn't come in here and measure out or count 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd units. That would have taken me forever, okay? So in chemistry, what we would do is we'd just weigh this, okay? And when we get to the number that's on the periodic table, remember for aluminum, it's 27. When I get to 27 grams, that's how I know I have a mole, okay? And remember, a mole is equivalent to 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd units. So if I weighed out 27 grams, okay, that's how many grams it would take to reach a mole, and that mole is equal to 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd units. Kind of want to show you some other ones, okay? This is, example of a mole of tin, okay? So this is a mole of tin, okay? So same thing, it's just like about a handful, okay? You guys can see that on the camera. But for tin, okay, I don't weigh out 27 grams because tin has a different molar mass. So for tin, I would have to look it up, and it's right here. So in that second example, okay, where we had tin, I had to weigh out, bring it back in here, 118.7 grams per mole. So even though it looks like, it's about the same amount, okay, I have to kind of turn this and gravity kind of gets the best of it, okay, but they are about the same amount, okay, that's in each of these, okay. So it comes up to about like right here, like when I'm holding it horizontally, okay, it's about this much of the baby food jar. So like I said, just kind of like a small handful, but the tin is more dense, okay, and that's why I have to get all the way up to 118.7, where for the aluminum, I only have to go up to 27, okay. Now, some of our moles can have color, like we got this nice red-brown color here for the copper, because this is a mole of copper. We could have a mole of sulfur here. Okay, it has a nice yellow color. So some of these things are, different colors depending on what the element is. Okay. Now over here, okay, I have kind of like a mole of sodium chloride. Now this looks like a lot more. It looks like about double of what I had before. And that's because there's two atoms, an atom of sodium and an atom of chlorine, that makes up 1 unit of sodium chloride. Okay, so if I was to calculate the molar mass of sodium chloride, I'd bring my periodic table down. Okay, so this time I'm going to do a compound, sodium chloride, and I'm going to make a list of how many of each there are. I got 1 sodium and 1 chlorine. I'm going to look up the sodium. It's right here, and it's 23 grams. So I'm going to multiply it by 23. And for the chlorine, it's 35.5. So I'm going to write down 35.5. And I'm going to do this math. Okay, so 23 and 35.5. I'm going to add that together. That comes out to 58.5 grams per mole. So if I wanted to get a whole mole of this, okay, which I did, is I weighed out 58.5 grams, and that would be equivalent to 1 mole or 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd units of sodium chloride. Sometimes we use the word molecules for that. Really, molecules should be for covalent compounds, but sometimes we do, have a little bit of liberty, and we call that molecules as well. So if I wanted 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd molecules of sodium chloride, okay, I'd look at the molar mass and say, hey, I have to weigh out 58.5 grams because 58.5 grams is equivalent to 1 mole, and 1 mole is equal to 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd units. Now let's go ahead and practice this with another one. Okay, let's say I had something like aluminum chloride, and I wanted to figure out what we call the molar mass. I want to make sure I write that down. This is called the molar mass. Okay, so molar mass for elements, you just look it on the periodic table. Molar mass for a compound, you got to create this chart. So if I was doing aluminum chloride, I have 1 aluminum and 3 chlorines. Aluminum's mass, we said, was 27, okay, from up here. Chlorine was 35.5. If I do all of my math here, 106.5, I think that totals up to 133.5 grams per mole. So that would be the molar mass for aluminum chloride. So if I wanted a mole of aluminum chloride, I would have to weigh out 133.5 grams. I hope this information was helpful for you to understand what a mole is and how to calculate molar mass. If it was, give it a like, subscribe, and please leave a comment because that really helps the YouTube algorithm.